Figurative art, sometimes written as figurativism, describes artwork, particularly paintings and sculptures, that is clearly derived from real object sources, and are therefore by definition representational. Figurative art is often defined in contrast to abstract art. Since the arrival of abstract art, the term figurative has been used to refer to any form of modern art that retains strong references to the real world. Painting and sculpture can therefore be divided into the categories of figurative, representational and abstract, although, strictly speaking, abstract art is derived from a figurative or other natural source. However, abstract is sometimes used as a synonym for non-representational art and non-objective art, i.e., art which has no derivation from figures or objects. Figurative art is not synonymous with figure painting, although human and animal figures are frequent subjects, nor is it a synonym of realist art. Formal elements. The formal elements, those aesthetic effects created by design, upon which figurative art is dependent, include line, shape, color, light and dark, mass, volume, texture, and perspective, although it should be pointed out that these elements of design could also play a role in creating other types of imagery, for instance abstract, or non-representational or non-objective two-dimensional artwork. The difference is that in figurative art these elements are deployed to create an impression or illusion of form and space, and, usually, to create emphasis in the narrative portrayed. Evolution. Figurative art is itself based upon a tacit understanding of abstracted shapes. The figure sculpture of Greek antiquity was not naturalistic, for its forms were idealized and geometric. Ernst Gombrich referred to the strictures of this schematic imagery, the adherence to that which was already known, rather than that which is seen, as the Egyptian method, an allusion to the memory-based clarity of imagery in Egyptian art. Eventually idealization gave way to observation, and a figurative art which balanced ideal geometry with greater realism was seen in classical sculpture by 480 BC. The Greeks referred to the reliance on visual observation as mimesis. Until the time of the Impressionists, figurative art was characterized by attempts to reconcile these opposing principles. From the early Renaissance, Mannerism in the Baroque through 18th, 19th and 20th century painting, figurative art has steadily broadened its parameters. Nicolas Poussin, a French painter in the classical style whose work predominantly features clarity, logic, and order, and favors line over color, served as an alternative to the more narrative Baroque style of the 17th century. He was a major inspiration for such classically oriented artists as Jacques-Louis David, Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres and Paul Cézanne. The rise of the neoclassical art of Jacques-Louis David ultimately engendered the realistic reactions of Gustave Courbet and Edouard Manet, leading to the multifaceted figurative art of the 20th century. Architecture, townscape, Albrecht Dürer courtyard of Innsbruck Castle, Jan van der Heyden the church at Via Canaletto, view of the Piazzetta and the Basin of San Marco in Venice. History painting, Paolo Uccello the Battle of San Romano, Jacques-Louis David Oath of the Horatii, John Everett Milius Christ in the house of his parents, Lawrence Alma Tadema the Egyptian widow, Human forms, Ancient Roman woman on a balcony, Getty Villa, Jacques-Louis David Oath of the Horatii, nude study by Kenyon Cox, Raymond Duchamp Villon, Femasis, plaster, Ian Hornack, Marcia sewing, Variation 3, Landscape, Seascape, Peter Bruegel the Elder the Harvesters, J.M. W. Turner the Fighting Temeraire, Still Life, Alexander Kuzman's Still Life with Lobster and Oysters, Paul Cézanne Still Life with Apples.